Let's talk about the Information Technology Act 2000, one of the very important acts, and why it was actually released. So it was under the UNITRAL, that is the United Nations Commission on International Trade of Law, that a model for electronic commerce was released, and that was back in 1996. Then thereafter, each of the countries were asked and recommended to consider the model for making their own laws. So India was one of the 12th nations to adopt it, and as per the IT Act 2000, it brought the following and amended the following. Those are the Indian Penal Code 1860, the Indian Evidence Act 1872, Bankers Book Evidence Act 1891, and RBI Act 1934. So these acts were amended. The idea was that this would be applicable to the whole of the nation. That includes under section 1(2), which says that even Jammu Kashmir under article 253 would have to follow the IT Act 2000. Also, it does not take citizenship into account and provides a extraterrestrial jurisdiction for the same. So what is the objective under the IT Act 2000? So idea is to provide legal recognition to all kind of transactions, facilitate electronic filing, electronic storage, legal sanctions between bank and financial institutions, and grant recognition to keeping the book of accounts in a electronic form. So what are the key highlights? So electronic contracts through secure electronic channels would be considered as a valid form. Digital signatures would be considered legal. Security measures for electronic records would be taken at priority. There would be a procedure to appoint the adjunct officer for inquiry into the act when finalized. There would be a very important tribunal, which would be the Cyber Regulatory Appellate Tribunal, and this would make appeals against the order of the issues or the cases that are being handled, and this appeal is possible only in the High Court, not in the lower court. So that's again important. This point is very, very important. We'll cover this in a while. Digital signatures use asymmetric crypto systems and hash functions. So we would be understanding these terms in a while. Just to hold on, we would have an appointment of the controller of certifying authorities who provides a license and regulates the working of the certifying authority. So who would be the certifying authority and who would be providing the license for those certifying authorities? That would be charged at a maximum of 25,000, and that would be a valid authority who would be considering those digital signatures as valid forms. And then you would have this act would also apply to offences which are outside India. Also, police officers and other senior officers can enter any public place for search without arrest warrant, and that is one of the key highlights that we need to understand. Now, coming on to the terms, as we said, asymmetric crypto system. Now, this means there would be a secure pair. One would be the public key and the other would be the private key. Also, there is certifying authority which grants license for issue of electronic signature under section 24. So that is important, section 24. Then we would have cyber security that protects the information, equipments, devices, resources, communication channels from unauthorized access and use. And then you have a very important team, which is the Indian Computer Response Emergency Response Team, and that has been established under section 1, subsection 1 of 70B. Now the idea is all of the transactions would be carried out in transparency, and this Indian Computer Response Team would be taken into consideration as an important agency for seeing the smooth functioning of everything. Now, as we said, asymmetric crypto type would have a key pair. Now, this means a private key as well as a public key. The private key is associated to the digital signature for creation of it. Public key is for verifying the signature and should be listed under the digital signature certificate. Then you have a hash function, which means it's a kind of algorithm mapping, and it basically translates one sequence of bits into another sequence of bits. So hash function is again important. So those are the key components of the IT Act 2000. Now this act has been divided into 13 chapters. The list of the chapters we have mentioned here. Each of these chapters would have the subsections. So which of the sections are important, we would focus on those. You have a whole list of subsections and sections that are released under each of the chapters, but we would be covering the key sections among each of the categories. So as we can see, among these chapters, chapter 2, 3 are very important, which talks about digital signature and electronic governance. Then you have chapter 11, which focuses on offenses, and then you have examiner of electronic evidence and miscellaneous section that we would cover in a while. Now under chapter 2 you have 3A section, which is important, which focuses on electronic signature. Chapter 3 you have use of electronic records. Under that you have delivery of services, that is very important. That is under 6A subsection. And then under 10A you have validity of contracts through electronic means. Under chapter 5 you have two important sections that are there, which focus on electronic records and electronic signature, the security of the two. Under chapter 7 we have the suspension and the revocation of the digital certificate, the digital signature certificate that would be issued. Chapter 8, acceptance of the signature and control of private key. The two sections 41 and 42 are important. Chapter 9, we have again two sections which are important, which focuses on penalty and compensation in case you are unable to protect the data, you fail to protect the data, and that is very important. That is section 43A. Now coming on to section 11, the chapter 11, most important of it, which focuses on offenses. So here under 66 you have 6 subsections that are there. The first talks about offensive message. The second talks about dishonestly stealing the data. Then the third, that is 66C, focuses on identity theft, which is very important. 66F focusing on cyber terrorism, again very important. And then you have 66E, which talks about violation of privacy. So these three are very important among 66. So that is 66. Then 69, again the power to issue the directions for blocking the public access of information or collecting the traffic data. So both of those are under 69. And under 70 we have a protected system, which focuses on a national nodal agency and the Indian computer response emergency response team. Now this team has a basic idea of collection of information. So it would collect information related to cyber incidences, forecast or alert people about upcoming cyber issues or cyber security incidents that could happen in future, emergency measures to handle any such kind of threat that could be seen, coordination of units to see that this cyber incidents is not affecting a huge lot of population, and bringing in security practices and security measures. So that is the key idea of the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. Under 70B, very important. Now besides this, the last chapter, chapter 13, which is miscellaneous, talks about some of the important issues, which focuses on punishment under various forms and the modes of encryption, which is 84A subsection, which is again very important. Now besides this, there are 4 schedules that were there previously. The schedule 3 and 4 have been omitted. Schedule 2, you have electronic signature or authentication technique, and schedule 1, you have documents to which the act shall not apply. Now what are the documents to which the act would not apply is important. So that is a power of attorney, which is defined in section 1A, a trust, which is defined in section 3 of the Indian Trust Act. Then you would have the Indian Succession Act 1925, the section 2 of it, and any contract for for the sale of immovable property or any such property would not be taken into consideration. So those are the regions where this act shall not apply. So again, a very important question. These 5 key points that you must and must remember. The sections are important. The key sections we have already focused, under which chapters they fall and what are the key ideas behind each of the section. And then where this IT Act 2000 is not applicable. So these are the 5 points where we consider the IT Act not applicable, and that those are very important for your examination perspective. So we would be covering many more important bills and acts in the upcoming sessions. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead.